Hello, I'm James, and welcome to another Jonesing for Film theatrical review. I'm just going to say this first as a side note. I'm kind of coming down with a cold, so my voice isn't exactly 100%. So yes, Dark Shadows, the latest Tim Burton, Johnny Depp collaboration. So the film focuses on a man named Barnabas Collins who, after breaking the heart of a witch, is transformed into a vampire and buried alive. Fast forward to 1972, nearly 2 centuries later, Barnabas is released from his tomb. He returns to his home to find it in rough shape and his dysfunctional descendants living there. He then decides to restore the Collins name back to its former glory. But the witch is still lurking around. Now I, like most people, am a fan of Johnny Depp. He gives very entertaining performances and it's always a pleasure to watch. Tim Burton is a very fun director, and he always has a great style in his films. Unfortunately, Dark Shadows fails to hit the mark. But let's start with the good. The performances here are actually pretty good. Depp, like I said, is great and gives a pretty fun performance. Eva Green makes for a delightful villain. The way she talks, the way her facial features represent what she's saying, very fun performance from her. Helena Bonham Carter has a surprisingly underplayed role here. Typically in Burton films she gets as much spotlight as Depp would, but even with a smaller role she still pulls off a good performance. And speaking of underplayed, Michelle Pfeiffer and Chloe Grace Moretz are really underused here. Pfeiffer does get a slightly larger role and she does a great job with the little screen time she had, but Moretz is criminally underused here. She is such a tremendous actress, it's a shame she's not given more screen time. But my favorite actor in this film, hands down, was Jackie Earle Haley. He too doesn't have a big role, but just about every one of his scenes he stole. I gotta admit, he had some of the best lines. I really want to see him do more comedy roles now. So that pretty much covers the acting. Another thing the movie has going for it is its style. It's not an obvious Burton film, but in certain scenes you can definitely tell it is a Burton film. And that's the thing I love about his films. His style. The large gothic castle, the way certain colors are dimmed and then others are highlighted. All his films have a unique look that cannot be imitated. And to go along with the Burton-esque tone, the film's score is of course done by Danny Elfman, and it is a great score. The final thing the movie has going for it is the humor. While not constant and not laugh out loud, the humor, for the most part, is enjoyable. There are some good lines that are definitely worth a hearty laugh. Now let's move on to what I didn't like. For starters, the plot is all over the place. The film opens up with Barnabas' backstory. Then when the film moves into the 70s, we get introduced to a new character, and it feels like they're kind of building on a second storyline that'll coincide with Barnabas' plot. And then the character just disappears, and then just kind of pops up here and there throughout the rest of the film. Then there are other characters who have things going on with them, issues that they've got, stuff like that. But we never get a backstory to why these things are happening. Why, we don't get an understanding of why these characters are the way they are. It's just kind of, yeah, they're like that, accept it. No, I don't want to accept it. I want to know what happened. And again, nothing really gets resolved with them. Now I know this film is based on a TV show, and these characters most likely have these traits, but you can't throw all of this stuff into a movie without explaining it, especially to someone like me who hasn't even seen the show. And speaking of the show, from what I've gathered, it's a soap opera? Am I right on that? If you've seen the show, comment below, let me know if I'm right. So if it's a soap opera, that means it's dramatic to a degree. Here there are moments where it tries to be dramatic, and then other moments it tries to be funny with the whole fish out of water scenario. There's no balance between the two genres, so this film really does not know what it's trying to be. And then there's the climax, and it's just a big WTF moment. And it's not even in a fun way like Cabin in the Woods. I seem to reference Cabin in the Woods a lot these days, but some of the most random crap happens here, and for no good reason. It's some real jump the shark stuff. So overall, I give Dark Shadows an average. There are some good performances, and it does have a great style, but there is a severe lack of focus and balance that really drags the movie down for me. So that is my review of Dark Shadows. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe. Also, don't forget to visit me on Facebook and check out my blog. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next review.